So one evening, my husband and I were shopping in Target. Now, it had been a particularly difficult day, and so we were in a bit of a hurry. At least he was in a hurry. And we were just moving, I mean moving down those aisles. And suddenly, I was stopped, dead in my tracks, by this very obnoxious noise coming from the aisle next to us. It sounded something a little like this. Stop it! Stop that! Stop that right now! No! I told you no! Well, I don't know about you, but that kind of talk just makes my skin crawl. So I couldn't help myself. I yelled back, redirect! Redirect! Redirect that kid, for crying out loud! Would you let the kid wonder? Let him be curious. Come on. Well, it was about that moment my husband had the good sense to grab me by my elbows and pull me to the front of him. And then I must have still been yelling because I could feel his hands on my face, pulling my face in his direction. And he said, what? What? What are you doing? And I said, well, listen, Brad. Well, scratch that. I probably said, you listen to me, Brad. In 2 years, that kid is going to show up at my school, and all of his sense of wonder and curiosity will have been stomped right out of him. And I can't take that anymore. My dear sweet husband said, I know, you're right, but we gotta go. So we hustled our way out of Target that day. I couldn't help but wonder, what would have happened if I would have had the opportunity to visit with that woman? What if I had chatted with her about the importance of wondering and curiosity? I wondered. I wondered so hard. I wondered my way right back to my school, and I wondered if there was anyone there who cared about wondering the way that I did. Well, I found this woman. This is Rebecca and her lovely family. It turns out that Rebecca is a bigger wonder than I am. And together we wondered if there were others like us, others who wanted to celebrate wondering. And lo and behold, our little community is just packed full of wonders. And so together we formed a wonder team. And we endeavor to create lots of wondering opportunities for all of our students in our community. But because we know that no one teacher can do it all on their own, we attempt to support teachers both in and out of the school. And we call ourselves the Academic Support Team. The Academic Support Team has 3 goals. Our first goal is just to provide volunteers for the classroom. And simply put, this is just a human resource required to free up teachers so that they have an opportunity to work with small groups or individuals on wondering types of activities and experiences. Sometimes the volunteers themselves bring those types of experiences to the classroom. Our second goal is to create a wonder network. Let me tell you how this works. Last week it was raining like crazy, and little Susie is out on the playground, but when she returns from recess, her fist is just chock full of worms. And she says to her teacher, where did they come from? Look at this, is this the mama? Do they have babies? What do they do? Where do they go? What do they eat? Now, while her teacher was thrilled that Susie was wondering about worms, she was about ready to launch into a lesson on 3-digit subtraction. So she said, Susie, please take the worms outside. And then, Susie, record your wonderings on a piece of paper. And I promise you, I'm going to put your wonders out on the Wonder Network. So when the teacher has a spare moment, because we have so many spare moments in teaching, she gets on the Wonder Network and she types in, is there anyone out there who knows anything about worms? And in very little time, someone will respond to her. It could be a teacher who's maybe building a worm farm and wants to invite Susie to join. Or maybe it's a parent who's just read a book about worms, or an artist who's done some sort of illustration with worms. Whatever the case may be, Susie should be talking to that mentorship between students and people in our community. Our third wonder was inspired by the great Wonder Woman herself, and she decided that she didn't want wondering to end at 3 o'clock. And so she said, we have to have an after-school enrichment program. And in our after-school enrichment program, we offer class, math blast, Jeopardy, writing, poetry, Chinese, Spanish, sign language. We even offer classes like yoga and clogging. But here's the deal. As soon as Rebecca sends out the registration, the classes are filled instantly. So what we learn is that our community really craves these opportunities. They want their children to be in these classes where they can explore and wonder. Our main mission is just to provide excellent opportunities for kids and our community to be a part of all of this. And I can't help but wonder if all of this wondering that's happening in this small community isn't somehow reaching out to the wider community. Because I'll have phone calls from people like professors who call and say, hey, I'm a science professor and I wonder if you would mind if I took some of your fourth graders to a science fair in Sims. Well, I don't have to wonder very hard about that one. I just say, yes, absolutely, that's a great idea. Because you should always say yes to wonderers. Another one comes from a Hellgate student who says, hey, I speak French. Would you mind if I came over and worked with a group of third graders and taught them how to speak French? These are great opportunities. But here is my favorite. Just recently, a man steps into my office and he says, I wonder what we can do to really improve your learning environment here. I wonder what kind of technology we could bring to your classrooms to really change the way we do things in your school. I wonder what would happen if we put an iPad in the hands of every fifth grader. I wonder what would happen if we put an iPad in the hands of every second grader. Wow. What is this tool going to do for my learning community? I wonder. Are you wondering what I'm wondering? Look at these kids. How is this tool going to launch them into a whole new world of wonder? I wonder what you will wonder today. Thank you.